be all set. Alright, so today I've made some progress over the weekend. I've been working on the folds in the skirt. They're coming along. This one is just about done. I haven't extruded it at all, so it's still 2D, and I still gotta decide how I'm gonna do it. I'm kind of thinking at this point I'm going to wait until I've already done the retopology to extrude them, because that should make the retopology process easier. But it depends on how sculpting goes. I might need thickness just to get a better idea of what's going on there. I started the sash over again because I really didn't like how it was going. I'd gone too subdivided too early, and the geometry I had wasn't working, the shape I had wasn't working, and there was this weird bulkiness happening between it and the skirt and trying to get it to work with the belt. So I just redid it, and I'm way happier with it now. It's of course a lot less detailed now, so I still gotta do that, but I think I've set myself up for more success now. And then this part, the over skirt, is giving me a lot of difficulty because I've got these folds that don't follow the topology, where it's actually directly as opposing it as it can be, where it's like a 45-degree angle to the topology. And that sucks because no matter how much I subdivide it, I mean, I can subdivide it a whole bunch and then you don't get that difficulty. Like, say that's really chunky, subdivide it, it's not chunky anymore. But that means the only way to cleanly work on it is if it's really subdivided, which is not, I don't know. I don't know anyone who works like that. It's not a good method to work. Anyway, I got the holes in there, got the outline better, and I'm just kind of fooling around with it at this point. It's close. There's a few bits like this where I'm not really sure what to do with it. So I worked on it enough that I know where the problems are, but not enough to quite fix them. But it's coming along. Otherwise, everything's getting pretty close. But looks like some subtools are turned off. So there we go. She's got a proper shirt now that fits right. Very low poly, but at least it's in there. And yeah. So all the drapery has at least a base. Oh, that's not true. Almost all of it does. I still don't have those little thingies. These guys. And I still need to get, like, she's got these beads that match her earrings. So those beads, and they're here, and here, and I want to say they were, oh yeah, on the belt too. Just like these little red droplets. Oh, and up here too, kind of. A little bit. Those are a little bit different. Yeah. So coming along, still lots to do though. Today I was kind of thinking I'm going to finally do her feet. I've been avoiding them because I never sculpt feet. I don't really know how to do it. So I've gotten myself some references here. I mean, they're not too dissimilar from hands, I suppose. I've only done like a fully sculpted foot once though, so I'm just a little bit afraid of it. But I've got these references break it down really well, which is cool. It'll be helpful. I think I mentioned this before, but my plan is to make the big toe separate, and then the other four toes kind of one mesh. They're not disconnected, they're just four stuck together. I think the challenge here is going to be making it anatomically believable while also following the style, because I find that style comes after you've mastered the anatomy, right? So I could only make these stylized hands in a appealing way because I already knew how to sculpt a real hand, a realistic hand that's believable in real life anatomy. And I don't know if I could say the same about my skills of sculpting feet, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull it off or not. I'm kind of thinking what's going to happen, just actually kind of what happened with the hands too, is I'm going to sculpt it realistically, accidentally, because I'm going to be following these references, and these are, I mean, this is pure realism. Okay, that's not, actually that's not true, but it's mostly realism, and I'm going to say, oh, this is not right, and then I'll go back and change it and fix it. And that worked for me with hands, even if it was a bit slower, so maybe we're fine. Anyway, we'll see where we go. She's got kind of, I don't know what style it's like graphic novel style, almost. It's not comic book style, even though it's similar. Not sure what to call it. It's the Hades style, let's say that. Alright, but anyway, we will see how it goes. I like this one. I like how it breaks them down into different parts. I think this is really helpful, because where I get lost is I don't know what the different sections are, because it kind of just looks like one big thing. Like the hands are obvious because you can actually see the tendons and the knuckles and everything kind of through the skin, and not so much, at least from what I've seen, maybe tendons a bit. But then you've got like this, whatever section it is on top. What would you call it? I think this is wedge part. I don't know. Anyway, it'll be an adventure. Okay, but to start, I've separated the legs out from the body, like a completely different subtool, because I'm pretty happy with the topology on the face right now. I've got like a mouth bag and everything. It's not fully subdivided. You can see it. Oh. Well, sort of. Pretend that's not, that should be, let me fix that actually. Oh, wait. Hold on, how do I fix that? Doing ZBrush calculus. I want those two selected and not the inner mouth. I can't figure out how to do this. I can get the opposite of what I want. Now if I click on that, will it, that inverts it, right? Yes, okay, there we go. So I want, wait, no, that's still not quite right. I want to select you. I thought that was the last one. Then add that. There we go. Jeez, it's too early in the morning to be doing polygroups. Okay, no! There we go. Okay, now what I meant to do was just show that I do have the mouth bag, I have the lower jaw in a different polygroup, and I just really don't like doing any retopology things like Dynamesh, ZBrush, or anything once I have a mouth bag in there, because it never goes right. You know, like her lips are looking good right now. I don't want to mess with that, so I just separated legs. I'm not going to be having this underbody for the most part anyway. It's just going to be, you know, upper torso that's showing, and then her lower legs. So it doesn't matter at this point if I cut it up into little pieces. So now I can screw around with the topology on this. So after I separate the big toe out, I'll want to do a retopology in one way or another. I haven't figured that out yet. And then I won't be screwing up the mouth bag or anything that's going on up in the face. So, what's my best reference here? I guess, I mean, I probably should start with just looking at this guy. This is the concept. That should be my primary reference, right? That wasn't really a question. I know that should be my primary reference. I'm already at the lowest subdivision. But top view is kind of, it's so much easier to look at and understand what's going on. It's a temptation of the top view. Now this is, I believe some people's feet aren't like that. Most of the big toe is the longest. I think that varies per person. It's kind of hard to, I think her big toe is a little bit shorter. Just use damn stuff. I can't. What do I want to do next? I guess I'll just kind of brute force it. There's probably a better way. I'm not thinking of. This isn't right. There's got to be a better way than this. I mean, I could try the knife lasso. I know I'm doing something wrong when I use it because I can't get it to work. It used to work really well for me, but this time it's not working because of the subdivision. But even when I have no subdivision, I can't get it to work. Watch, it's gonna work. It's gonna work perfectly this time, of course. Yep. I swear it hasn't been working for me. Well, that's good. I should be happy that it's working. I don't know. It doesn't need to be perfect right now. I'm just trying to separate them. I think this needs more volume. Let's do that. Let's get the references back. So at the top view, it's because it's pretty thick, especially at the top of the toe of the thumb. Thins out in between. Looks like a cloven hoof right now. I'll have to decide if it's going to be worth sculpting the underside of the foot. I might do a little bit just in the toes and then leave the rest flat. Because realistically, it's never going to be seen. But it might be helpful around the toes just to get the full scope of their shape. I think the most important thing about toes is remembering that the big toe goes back farther. I mean, it is essentially the thumb, right? So it goes up higher up the hand, but foot, and then they're at a slant after that. I mean, this shape is what I'm trying to pay attention to. This curve here. This knuckle is all the way back there, while this one is up here. something I'm noticing on hers is that the big toe is actually pretty flat, and the littler toes are, especially like the pinky, has much more of a curve. Which I think is not true to life. So I'll have to pay attention to that. I also could be wrong. Like I said, this is my second time ever sculpting a foot. So I kind of know what I'm doing. I drew them a lot. We studied them a lot in 2D courses, anatomy courses, but I was really bad at them. I find hands much easier than feet, which I think is not normal. I'm not sure. I would take a hand over drawing a foot immediately. Alright, let's apologize this. Let's just see what the zero measure does. Oh yeah, that's nice. Awesome. That's so much easier than I thought it was going to be. Cool. I think I'm going to make the big toe a separate polygon, because I can already see I'm going to be having difficulty with every time I try to make an adjustment to this guy, it's going to adjust these guys, and having another polygon where I can mask it out or whatever is going to help me a lot. I kind of like to get it to be all one line. Oh my gosh, look at that. Why does ZBrush make the polygroups such similar colors? Why would you do this? Maybe that's better. It's not worth it. I'm just gonna leave it. It's a waste of time. Let's mark out the other toes now. Theoretically, I can just divide it by 2 twice, right? Or 3 times. Pinky gets a lot shorter. This is different depending on which reference you look at. So what I just did, I made the final knuckle kind of, what would you call that? Like a hitchhiker's thumb kind of thing, where it's actually pushing down. It's like it's gripping the floor a little bit, and you see that in this reference, and kind of in this one. Yeah, right there. But then in all the rest of them, they have the toes going this way, like it's more relaxed, I guess. Maybe it depends on the toe. Looks like the pinky is more curved in that direction, and then the first toe, second toe, I don't know what toes are. Let's see, it's the index, let's call it the index. The index toe is kind of more curved. That, the opposite way. That's interesting. Maybe it's just purely differs by person. Maybe it just depends on how you're standing. It's just, the way it's posed. pressed the button. I must have. It won't let go. Just escape. Delete. No. Backspace. Tab. Oh, is it tab? No. Tab just moved me to something else. Oh, that's so weird. Now I'm stuck in select position. Have I pressed caps? I learn new things about this software every day. Is it one of the lock keys? I mean, no, don't screenshot. Oh, actually screenshot fixed it. Okay. Sure, why not? Stupid. Alright, let's get some foot bones. Foot skeleton. It's the part that I don't understand. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. It's really just a pure simple triangle. Well, I mean, trapezoid maybe. All of the stuff with the heel, we got that shape. Oh my gosh, not like that. Pretend it looks more like a foot than that. But we've got all of that, I guess, is muscle and fat? Probably. I think there's a lot of fat on the heel. Cushion must be. Alright, anyway. That's cool. Good to know. Not directly helpful, but good to know. So now my goal is to make it look less like a sock and more like a foot. Ankle bones really confuse me. I always just kind of guess on them. Where do they go? What do they connect to? Who knows? No one knows. It's actually, I'm babbling. It's a big conspiracy. Where do the ankle bones go? They're actually not real. It actually gets a little bit wider even on the outside at the heel. You think of that curve being only on the inner foot, but I can see here it's paralleling that even on the outside. And we kind of have this gray zone in between. Well, I don't know what this section is called either, but in between this section and the toes, there's this sort of intermediary section. It's really important. If you forget that, that's what makes the foot look like, well, not a foot. It makes all the difference. In it. I'm not sure, this might be too exaggerated too. I could probably go a little bit lower poly right now. I think right now what I've got is a little bit too dense for the level of detail I'm at. Since I use the remesher, it's more difficult to lower the density to decrease the density. So I'm not going to, but I probably should. So she's got like this really cartoonish curve in her ankle and leg. So that's the front bit. So it must be indented behind the ankle bone. And then I'm also just going to use a move tool and push it over a little. This very skinny legs right before the ankle, and then kind of a really lumpy ankle. So that's what I'm trying to replicate. And this point here, again, those curves and points, you always, especially when you're trying to capture a style, you want to be looking at where's the curve, where's it straight, and where's a point. So we've got a curve, point, and a straight, and then a curve. This one doesn't match that, so I'll have to choose one or the other, because I'm not going to be making asymmetrical feet. That is a waste of time. I like this one more. I think it has more character. It's more interesting. So I'm going to go with that one for the most part, but I'm also still using this curve here as a guide, and of course on this side too, because I can't see it on that side. But look at that. That's. I think we've got what's going on. Yeah, it's just a really thick line. It's not that she has like this weird nodule for an ankle. It's come on, give me the pen. It's like that, and then we've got it goes like that, and then the foot goes like that. Okay. Enough talking about it. Let's do it. She's actually got really exaggerated here, that transition. So we've got like a triangle shape here, and then like a rectangle, and then the toes. Space in between, so I'm trying to push this. I bet her arch is exaggerated too. You can't actually see it, but just by the rest of it, I feel like it should be. Oh yeah, actually here, I can kind of see it. Got like let's get that stylized feel right from the start. I'm not doing realism. I gotta not follow that track. That's what I said I would be following into the realism. Yeah, this mesh is just a little too dense. It always starts feeling like hammered metal or something, but not well hammered metal. Hammered metal by an amateur who doesn't know how to hammer metal. Zoom out, get on where to zoom out, and look at the whole thing. I think the toes are actually too small, which is crazy to say. The whole thing feels out of proportion. Can't quite place why. But yeah, I think the toes are too small. I'm not sure how to make them bigger. They can't go anywhere, you know, they're pressed up against each other. Maybe it's not the size, maybe it's the shape. Or maybe it's just relative to the rest of the foot. Maybe the whole foot is too long. Definitely is. I'm not too worried about stuff falling below the floor line. Well, with ZBrush, you don't really get a floor line, so because the floor line just follows whatever the lowest point of the mesh is. So like if I move it down, the line would just follow it. So I actually can't even tell where the floor line is. I think there is a way to show that actual like 0 level plane. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, the point is, I'm not worried about that. I can fix it later. I'll just chop it off below that line at the very end, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be constantly adjusting to make it fit. I think that proportion is better. Still not sure though. I think her ankles are still too wide. She's got really, really skinny ankles. It's like little monkey feet. I don't know, something's off. Something is off, I'm just not sure what. Maybe the ankles still need to be bigger. I think it's more than that. There's something like base proportion wise. Or something. The heel is more like that. That looks goofy. Oh, hi. Hey. Oh, music's really loud. Hold on. I will fix that. Thank you for letting me know. I swear I put it at the same volume every time, and sometimes it's too loud and sometimes it's too quiet. But yeah, it's good. Let me know if that volume's better. I'm finally tackling the beast of the feet. I don't want to, but it's not going as bad as I thought it was going to be. I don't have a lot of experience sculpting feet, so it's something to learn. I feel better. Oh yeah, much better. I just a weird thing. I'm fine now. How's it going for you? How's your IP going? Symmetry. Not too much lack of motivation, but it's fine. Yeah, I've definitely had a slow week. I know it's Monday, but like a slow past 7 days. I had a really hard time getting up the motivation to work on stuff. I've got an interview tomorrow actually, so I'm kind of just like anxious about that, not really focused on art right now, just worrying about more networky sort of stuff. So that always kind of throws me for a loop on actually thinking about artwork. I don't know if it's the same for you or if something else is going on, or maybe it's just a slow time, but yeah, definitely not a good week for really getting part done. As well. Thanks. It is for a 3D job, yeah. It's a really cool little indie studio that be very excited to work with them, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, that looks too long now, but I swear they're really long in the concept. Betray Firestorm? No, I do not. I'm going to do both at once, if at all possible. I won't need these guys, come on. I really have a hard time remembering which buttons do what in polygroups, showing and hiding them every single time. Like, you'd think I would know by now. It's been, I don't know, a long time of using ZBrush. I still, every single time I want to isolate a polygroup, I click the wrong thing the first few times. It's actually not too far from me. It's a few states over, but it is also fully remote. I think a lot of people are not anywhere close to where the company is technically located. But either way, it's fully remote for me, so it doesn't really matter. But it's the same time zone, which is cool. Probably the first time that's been the case. Yeah, right. It's almost too bad, like I'm getting really good at figuring out time zone stuff and I'm not going to use those skills. Now the worst part in my opinion with time zone stuff is when there's a daylight savings time in one country but not in most other ones, or vice versa. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It just gets, oh my gosh, it gets dreadful. The grass is always green on the other side. Yeah, now I want time zone problems. Nah, I just want to show off that I can deal with that, you know. Once you're good at something, you want everyone to know you're good at it, right? What's the point in getting good at something if you don't use those skills? This toe is awful. Speaking of showing off skills that you have, right now I'm showing off skills I don't have. Yikes. I gotta figure out where the knuckles are. This isn't right. It's actually not helpful at all. This one is better. I think this is, yeah, anatomy for sculptors, so they're gonna have something helpful. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just not doing it right. Sometimes I don't want to let people know I'm too good. Imagine being at work and people know you are too good. You get more work but not more money. That's true. It's a slippery slope. I mean, ideally, you get more work and more money, but I guess that's not really how it goes, is it? So what Patrick is telling us is, do hide your light under a bushel. Just give him just enough to get the job. This is great advice. Times are rough, you know. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't help at all. Darn. How much would I say is left for me to model here? Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to tell. Let me zoom in. I've got to fix the hair. I kind of went backwards in some spots. It's not a ton. There's not a ton left. I could easily get this done with like a few days of solid work. The problem is I'm not doing that. After tomorrow, after I have an interview, I've got the rest of the week sectioned off to work on this. So I could see this being done like very soon, very soon. Because I mean, if you look at it, it's close. It's just a few bits like this is still needs to be cleaned up. You know, subdivided more. This needs to be redone. I just need to add. Apart from that, it's just like adding trim and stuff, and the hair. Whatever the disaster is of the hair. And then it's just little beads and details and trims and tiny proportional things. So I don't know. Soon. I can't estimate better than that. If I were working on this all the time, I would have a better estimate, but it's just because I don't know how much time I can give it in a week right now. It's definitely close. And then I'm going to have to do retopology live, which is awful. I don't want anyone to see my retopology process. You guys will know that I don't actually have any idea what I'm doing. think I actually am probably better than I think I am, but there's definitely some bits where it's like every single retopology phase you're like, wow, maybe I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So pretty much when your possible new indie boss asks you how long, you better be as soon as as slow as possible. Yeah. Hey, when I'm getting paid for a model, that's a different story. This is the line. This line I can't figure. I guess it's like that. It's actually kind of like flip-flops. There you go. She's got flip-flops on. You know what, if I say Friday, then I'll have you guys holding me accountable, or just you. I'll have Patrick and no one else holding me accountable. So how about this? How would I say I'll get this done Friday? I'll come in on Friday. Oh, it is Friday morning though that I have my next stream. End of Friday. Is that cheating? Then you won't actually know if I did it until Monday. No, that's... Oh, Wednesday I have a doctor's appointment though. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna say Friday. Hold me accountable to Friday. By my next stream, I'll have this ready to retopologize. I won't have started retopology though, so don't hold me to that. You can suffer through the decimation process with me. You also, if you can't make it Friday, you don't have to, but I will know I'll have said Friday, so that's what's important. I think it's really funny how like her feet are starting to get less realistic proportions, and then her legs are just like, I mean, skinny but otherwise normal legs. She's got like these chicken ankles happening now. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Might be at work, not sure. Just send me a message on Slack. Haha. Yeah, fair enough. Be honest, I don't know the difference between the damn standard brush and the pinch brush. I mean, I do, but I can never decide which one. I guess that was a good case for the pinch brush, not damn standard. Yeah, kind of. Almost no. we said about motivation. Yeah, just a lot going on and a lot in your mind right now, so hard to focus for a long time on something. Yeah. We need, like... I feel like the ideal situation is you got a cabin in the woods, absolutely no contact with the outside world, no other worries about anything else ever, and you could just for like a week, and you could get all your work done, and then maybe come back to real life. It would be nice. Especially if it's something like, you know, there's some things that are just like tasks that you need to get done that can be distracting, but then if you actually have something to worry about, something on your mind, it's really, I mean, how can you focus on creativity that's extremely taxing? I mean, it can be relieving, but it's still a lot of effort on your mind, and so if you're already stressed about something, that can be a big demand. So I mean, it's not surprising that people struggle with like burnout and all that. Creativity is not easy. I think it's funny talking to a lot of 3D artists. I think there's like the idea that no one likes retopology or UV unwrapping, but then if you actually go and talk to a lot of people that I talk to, they say they actually really like that part, because it's just like it's a break in between the actual work of like making creative decisions about, you know, what looks good, what doesn't look good, and then retopology and UVing is mostly just, you know, technical. There's a right and a wrong most of the time, and it's easy compared. Once you know what you're doing, it's easy. Like these ankles, I don't know what I'm doing. Just blank out everything, yeah. You do like UV mapping and stuff, yeah. I mean, it's UV mapping to me, it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, like with extra steps, maybe. But you know, that's something people do in their free time for fun, right? So I think the reason there's like the myth about people hating it just comes from people learning it. When you're learning it, yeah, it's awful. You don't know what's going on. And since the majority of 3D artists are amateurs, it makes sense that myth will come about. And there is actually, at least in character art, probably in general too, I feel like there is a lot of art that goes into retopology. You've got to decide how to maintain the silhouette, how to make it deform well and all that. So that can be stressful too, but... And the same could be said about UV unwrapping and UV mapping and UV layouts. It does all have a little art to it, which is why not everyone can do it. You gotta have the technical and the creative commitment, ability, whatever you want to call it. Her toes actually kind of fan out. They don't curl in like this. I'm doing this wrong. Concepting right now is hard, it takes a lot of mental energy, and if you don't have a lot of images right now, put it back. Yes. I took just like a concept art survey course once, and I couldn't believe how hard it was. I mean, just like coming up with something out of literally nothing. And of course, there are exercises, right? There are things you can do to make it so that you're not coming up with something out of nothing. But it's really incredible and incredibly difficult. I admire concept work because I don't know if I really have it in me. I'm sure a lot of it is just training, but it's a lot of work. Usually your bread and butter is rendering, and even that is a bit ugh right now. Oh no, man. What are you gonna do? I guess if you knew what to do, you would have already done it. I hope there's not anything like too really stressful going on for you right now. I feel like it's fall back on studies and copy paintings. Yeah. Just sitting down, doing it, at least in practice. Yeah, I had a professor who used to say, he used to call it butt in chair work. An art professor, you know, the idea being, you can't say you're working on it if you're not literally working on it, and just like sitting down and doing it is sometimes what it takes. But it's definitely hard when you're thinking about other stuff. It's so easy to make distractions. But yeah, I mean, your study paintings are great. Those are definitely, you know, that's still great work. So the fact that you're still creating, even if you're not necessarily, you know, concepting, I think that's really great. I think it's a lot better than the trap a lot of people fall into, where they literally don't create anything for a long time. Not gonna go into these topics. Everything in the world right now is ugh. Yeah. Turn off everything is probably the best. Yeah, I can't probably. Well, actually, technically, Firestorm told me I can say whatever the hell I want, but I probably shouldn't say anything. But yeah, it's definitely. It's actually kind of nice to hear, personally for me, that 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 other people also get distracted from art with stuff like that going on. Because sometimes I feel like, sometimes this stuff it's so beyond me. It's so beyond something I can do anything about. I feel bad for getting distracted from my own life because of it. But it really is, it's still important. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. I can't say anything more without saying anything more, so I won't. But it's not helping with your portfolio. Yeah. Just something to boost your confidence now and then. And yeah, and keep your skills sharp. I mean, more than just keeping them sharp, it's really, you're still honing them. You're learning a lot from doing that, even if it's not a portfolio piece. I'm invested into a lot of stuff. I've actually thought of doing stuff for that, but it might hurt my professional life. Yeah, I used to make. I started art. I got into art because of comics, and I used to make pretty political comics. And I stopped more recently. I kind of made like all my social media everywhere in publishing. I just do purely the 3D modeling. Don't talk about anything else because I want a job. I still have those feelings, and sometimes it's hard. I feel like it's like selling out almost. It's the same kind of idea of changing what I create for money, but I don't know. Sometimes you gotta be quiet. Sometimes you just gotta make money. I don't know. There's probably a happy medium between those. Sometimes you feel like you really want to share my feelings and stand for my values, and then usually the people who hire you in those big studios don't align with your values anyway. Yeah, right. I do see, a few, there's definitely with big companies especially, they really don't care for that sort of stuff. I do see some smaller studios where like they explicitly say things in the even the job posting, but also just like in their games at large, you can tell they're standing for things, and it's like, with those people, maybe it's better to show that you do care about that sort of stuff, but it's definitely risky. It's a hard one. It's hard to know what to do. You also don't want to be in a situation where you're staying quiet for money, because that's not good either. It's so hard. We really do live in a time. You want to survive, but you don't want to sacrifice anything for that. Respect people, doesn't matter where they're from, what they love, and so on, right? It's not a left side, something that should be standard. It should be, agree, but that doesn't mean it won't hurt you if you say that out loud. End of sentence. Yeah. It shouldn't. I mean, ideally, it's hard to imagine a company actually not hiring you for a statement as innocuous as that. These weird pointy angles. I don't know about that. Do you like Banksy for that reason, pointing out capitalism and some political stuff that happens in the UK? Yeah. Make sure you don't say anything wrong here on the stream. Heather gave everything the same that no one stays in the middle. Yes, that's true. I try very hard to. I mean, generally, the things I'm most worried about staying on the internet is just when I misspeak and say something that sounds worse than it is. Usually, I worry less about speaking my actual political beliefs, but I mean, honestly, yeah. Anyway, definitely do be aware of what you say on the internet. But like you said, you shouldn't be afraid to say, what should be completely uncontroversial opinions, like not even opinions, just truths, like let people exist, respect people, no matter where they're from, who they love, and all that. I don't mind if me saying that is on the internet. I respect people. I don't like war. I don't like dictators. So yeah, see, these are should not be controversial statements. twirling these feet around too much. Something's still wrong though. Maybe it just... Maybe it needs to subdivide. Some people get offended. Yeah. Not a lot of artists, though. we're more of one kind of breed, typically. So you're on Twitch with your clear name, so you're more careful. Right. Before you change your Twitch name here, alias to your name, talk more openly to and stood your ground more. Yeah, right. Yeah, as soon as it's your one legal name, you really gotta be aware of what you're saying. And that's why social media are all cesspools of hate and venom and completely unconstructive speech, because people just can have any name they want. They're not held accountable for the horrible things they say. Except for every once in a while when they are. You got some threats in real life for your political site. Yikes. That makes you rethink stuff if you share it or not. Yeah, you start getting physically endangered for what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. I want to be careful. That's scary. I'm too much of a coward. I don't say my political beliefs in real life. I make my little doodles on comic books, and that's about it. But yeah, don't want to go much too into it, sure. I think I need to look at something else. I can't figure out what's wrong with these, so maybe I'll just go work on something else. I mean, for one thing, I need to fix the legs now. I haven't figured out how far up, how I'm solving the skirt retopology issue. So without looking up her skirts, I mean, there's nothing. It doesn't matter. It's. I mean, you know what's under there is legs. But I think what I want to do is cut them off like maybe here. Oh, oops, wrong way. Here, and then create a solid mesh at the inside of this skirt. And I mean, in none of my renders is any of that going to be showing anyway, so it wouldn't matter. I mean, this is probably the lowest I would want it to be visible. I know I'm speaking very abstractly, so it's probably kind of hard to understand. And I'm getting distracted too. Why am I talking about this? Oh, because I'm trying to figure out what to do with the legs. Because they're not stylistically coherent anymore. We've got two different styles going on. So I might say like right below the knees, I don't need to worry about that, and I just need to figure out this much of the leg, and any more of that will be blocked off in the low poly. I think that's probably the best way to do it. I'm honestly not sure. I've never really seen an example of how you do only skirts for game model. I'll have to see if I can find any actual in-game models and see how they do it. only ever done a model with pants underneath, and so it's kind of self-explanatory. But at least she has feet now. Not just like these weird stockings at the end of her legs. Keep focusing on feet. I mean, some part of me thinks maybe it's better to, like, once you've started one spot, maybe it's better to, like, go all the way through it and finish it. But another part of me thinks knows that it's good to take breaks from one part. So is it better to take a break, and, like, literally from the whole thing and not think about it, and then come back and finish that same spot? Or is it better to move around the model at different levels? I know with a drawing it would be better to be moving around because... I think it's true for a model too. You want everything to be at the same level of completion at each stage, unless you're like one of those crazy people. I know someone who draws like a printer. Like they'll draw full detail level just from the bottom of the page up, after a rough sketch, of course. But I think that's absolutely mind-blowing. And if they weren't really good at it, I would say that's a terrible method. But they're really good at it. I feel like I'd be messing up the proportion and everything. It wouldn't look the same by the time I got to the other end of the paper. I guess it's a skill. Just it sounds like it's just crazy. It's a crazy skill. Usually you bring up everything to solid level, focus on one area and polish it, bring in the rest up, and then add more detailed phase on top and find last 1%. Right. Okay, so, I mean, with that logic, yeah, it would be fair enough for me to completely finish up the feet, apart from, like, maybe last little bit of polish. But also, I could just avoid them and go move on to something easier. I think that's the real truth of it. But rather than, I am saving a little bit of time, because I know I do need to take a visual break from the feet. So I could either walk away from the computer and not do anything, or I could go work on some other part of it while I'm resting my eyes from the feet. So, see, I'm saving time. I'm not avoiding it. I'm saving time. Saving 5 minutes. That's all. I'll keep telling myself that. These are going to be really annoying to make. But something easy I can do. Oh yeah, let's finish the sash, actually. That's not that easy, but I do want to do it. Last 1% takes as long as the whole process so far. Oh my gosh, that last 1%. I feel like the better I get at art, the longer that last 1% takes, which is so frustrating. It's like everything just takes a little longer every single time I complete a project. It's like, okay, that one took even longer than the last one. The hope is, as you get better, you get faster, but I'm not sure that's true. As you get better, you find more things that you can improve. Means that 1% becomes more and more hours each time. Fake it till you make it, yes. Pretend you're being efficient instead of being avoidant. I don't remember the code for this one. I hate that there's two I am primitives brushes. I think it's this one. Just want the polys here. Whoa. Oh. Let's see. I did not know this is still a cube. That's really funny. used to have this split unmasked points on my on this bar here, and I seem to have lost it and replaced it with something else accidentally, which I shouldn't, because I liked that. Oh, it's split hidden. I mistakenly put. Let me fix this right now, actually. Creative view, put split master points. That's not gonna work, is it? I've got something. I had it perfect. I had it in a way I really just loved, and I accidentally uninstalled my preferences and deleted the file because I did something really stupid, completely my fault, and lost it. And I've been trying to get it back to how I liked it before, and I keep finding small differences. Okay, I won't save that. I'll just leave it. I'll figure it out eventually. I'm gonna have to reorganize it a bit. Anyway, you. To unfreeze. Hello? What's happening? Did I split it? I did split it. Oh, it's because I'm trying to use an IMM. Got it. I was still on the IMM brush and I was freaking out about that. When you started, you finished a full illustration in a day. Now it takes me at least 1 week. Exactly. Yeah, and I think about like when you start, you're like, look, I'm already a pro. I can do this in 1 day. I'm already fast. I got this. And then you realize it's not. You're not fast for the right reasons. At least that was my experience. So maybe the learning curve, like, it goes fast, and then as you learn more, you get slower and slower, and then eventually you reach a tipping point where you start getting faster again. Hopefully, that's the hope. Still holding out hope for that one. This belt is asymmetrical, so I can do whatever I want, and no one can complain. Just make a little extra space here. Actually, I want this to be closer. I want it to be just up against the knot so that I can easily make these ties kind of draping over it. It's actually shorter in this. Nope, that's not. There we go. This kind of comes out. Ignore how much clipping is going on right there, because that's not, it won't matter. If it doesn't matter, I'm pretending it's not there. If I don't see it, it's not real. Everything takes long. She must take care of her health, sports and quality time, friends, and girlfriend, boyfriend too, family, and so on. Running out of time and energy. Yes. I definitely. I think I like to think I'm getting better about that. When I was doing the TA job and my class at the same time, it was kind of like all 3D all the time. No one really ever saw my face, and my face did not see outside either. I think I'm managing my time a little bit better now. I mean, right now I don't have anything going on, so I sure hope I'm managing my time better. Yeah, definitely. We have people who want to see us. We have to get our exercise and all of that, or else we will be too sad to make art. It's like the put the oxygen mask on yourself first before your kid, but in this case your kid is art. Or maybe your kid too, because some artists have kids. Catching up with you. Yeah, you too. Thanks for hanging out. Try to continue to start some art and be creative. Yeah. You know, if you're holding me accountable, I can hold you accountable too. if you want to set a goal or something. Or I could just yell at you and say, I hope you've made some art. Thank you. Yeah, see you Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Get some art done. Yeah, promise. I swear you'll see some progress. been seeing like it's being tied into something else. I think I'm on the right track where the ridges kind of flatten out and the indents actually get deeper. That feels right. I should get a reference. I don't have one, right? I don't think this is the right kind of fabric, but it's like the exact same kind of knot. Yeah, right, so this flattens out, but then these they get really skinny and really deep. It actually, at least from this angle, it doesn't flatten out a whole bunch. The thing is, my ridges are really tall, so they kind of have to if I want it to look like these are interacting in any way. Flatten the ridges a little bit while I'm in here, and then later I can just sharpen them up without making them taller. Maybe if I use the pinch brush instead of doing standard. Or let's see. Yeah, maybe that's better. And then, of course, this isn't 100% a good reference because it's realism, and one thing, very, very important tip for working in stylized modeling is you don't want to have only realistic references for your stylized model. In fact, if you possibly can, you don't want any realistic references at all, which I'm not great at doing. I usually end up with quite a few. It's hard to find some references. You know, there's so many styles out there. You can't just search like a stylized fabric knot. That's a ridiculous thing to search. You're never gonna find what you're looking for. But you know, you can just take your shirt and tie a knot in it with what you already have on you. So much harder to find stylized references. I don't like how this is looking uneven. It's kind of cool, actually, just looking at it. Just the fabric. There's something fun about that. The fact that it still has like a human form without the human underneath. That's a good sign. That means something's going well. Also the fact that this is giving the illusion of depth when in fact every single one of these, except for possibly this guy. I think this guy does have thickness, yeah. Apart from that one, all of these are completely two-dimensional. Oh no, these three have been extruded. Everything else is just a 2D plane though. means I'm doing something right. Now, how do I get this to stop feeling like hammered metal? Got some weird things happening with topology around the holes. Kind of expected that, but doesn't mean I have to like it. It's tricky because when you smooth it, what I want to do is smooth it out, but that actually creates more problems where it starts bending and overlapping on itself. I wonder if there's another brush I could be using. I wonder if Zimala has something actually. Let's see. I want like a relax or something. What about deformation? Let's select the whole thing. Just out of curiosity. Make sure I'm not selecting anything else. Deformation. Oh, what a polish to it. It definitely changes the shape, but it doesn't break it like smoothing it does. Same story for the relax. Oh. Weirdly, undoing. Set it back to its lowest subdivision. I'm not sure why. Let's relax. So that relax does kind of. Come on. I think polish is better. Yeah, polish is better. Because I could also try smooth though. Smooth might be best of all. I like that it's like a live slider. I don't think polish did that. No. But polish is more effective. I mean, I guess it just keeps. Oh, wrong one. Nah, polish is still better. And yeah, it makes my hole the wrong shape now, but now I can just grab it and move it. I don't remember what the shape was. What shape was this? Oh. It's that. That's this one. So I need to make that better too. Oh, look at that. Oh, no, it's just a glass. I think I need to actually delete some faces here to make this little cut here. I had it just moved up like this, and clearly it's gotten lost in translation somewhere because it's gone now. I actually had a lot of luck with the knife tool earlier. I wonder if I could use it again here. Probably not, since it's so. Tricky thing with making them at the bottom here is I can't just extrude inward like you can with these ones, where I can just delete that and extrude. No, wait, I think it's polyloop. Yeah, polyloop, just like that, easy peasy with because if you do that, it extrudes everything all the way around. I wonder if I could mask that first. So the whole edge. And then unmask these. Would that work? Oops. Back to extrude. No, it doesn't care about masking. Okay, worth a shot. Instead, I just extrude them. This, and let's see if I can at least, yeah, there we go, and then stitch them together. And then there's always a little bit of work to make it all even, and this is why it's a pain. Because that is, oh no, oh right, it's just frozen. This guy's good. Because that's no good. I don't know why some of these have a crease. I must have some setting turned on, because I keep, when I do things in Seed Modeler, they keep turning up creased in random spots. Doesn't really matter. I'm not using... Oh gosh, I forgot I deleted that. It's a demo. Let's fill that. Stupid little demo coming back to bite me. This isn't great. This is a 6-sided pole, which you kind of want to avoid. But I wanted these to be closer together for the seed when it's subdivided. It kind of creates a little bit of a mess there. I think that's more of a problem with low poly deformation than it is sculpting, but usually if something's going to be a problem in one of them, it's a problem in both. Like, you know, you don't make more than 4-sided face. That's problematic in both low poly topology and in sculpting, or a really weird topology, anything like that. Usually what's good for one of them is good for the other. I think there's some exceptions, like you don't need supporting edge loops in a low poly retopology, unless, I mean, for games you don't, because you're not going to have a subdivision preview like you do in, say, a rendering in Maya. But that's not what I was going to say. I thought of another one in the middle of trying to think of, oh, triangles. You don't want triangles when you're sculpting. That's just going to create some artifacts when you subdivide. But you definitely do want triangles when making a low poly retopology for games, because that's just the most efficient way to solve redirection, topology redirection, edge loop redirection. kind of rambling. It's hard for me to focus on what I'm doing and talk. I think I was working on the sash. I don't know how I ended up down here. Actually, what happened? Strange. Oh no, wait. No, that's right. These two are looking almost identical now. This one should be taller. Both points should be taller. So if I polish this now, am I going to lose that shape that I just made? Yes. Just a tiny bit. Get away with cutting this. Oh no, because it's no, I'm not gonna try it. That's too troublesome. When I already know it's probably gonna not work, I don't want to invest that much effort into it. I think that would be a waste of time. Gotta polish this again though, because it's looking weird again. Oops. What is this? Sweet. Good enough. Now, I can come back to it later, of course. I'm not supposed to be working on that right now. I actually think this is a good place to stop it. I'm kind of rambling, focusing more on the work than the stream, which is a sign to me it's probably good to end the stream. So, thanks for coming, and I'll hope you have a good, productive week. Get lots of work done, get good sleep, have a good balanced life. Heather won't be streaming tomorrow. She's still in Snotland, and unfortunately I couldn't cover for her, but Wednesday I think she's still streaming with ZBrush, I'm not sure, and she should be on Thursday, and then I will be back on Friday, so hopefully see you guys then. And until then, have a great time. Bye bye.